Hi, I'm Brigida Cook, and I'm really excited to be interviewing Sheryl today, who's a homeschool mama to seven children. And she is a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, and she's a faith-driven natural mama. So let me just get her connected here. All right. Oops.
Hey,
There she is.
hey,
Hi, friend.
how are
Good.
you?
How are you?
I'm good. Just adjusting the camera a little bit.
So
Okay.
I was just sharing a little bit about you and how awesome you are and everything you do. So would you just share a little bit more about yourself?
Ye- yes. So my husband and I originally are from Southern California, and we have a family dairy farm that we had down there. We relocated it to Eastern Washington. I'm sure Brigida told you that we have seven children. We moved here with our oldest three, which are triplets. And so it's just been a wild adventure. I cannot believe how fast time goes once you have children. I feel like, it goes so slow. And then once you have your kids, it's like, where did the time go? So we started homeschooling when the triplets were 5. And I've just been a stay-at-home mom until 6 years ago. I started a home-based business, and I've just been, doing family stuff and homeschool and my business and, in the cracks of my life. And that is pretty much about us. My husband and I are about to celebrate our 19th wedding anniversary.
Awesome.
I know it makes me feel really old. I was 19 when I got married. So I was super young, just so you guys, I like to add a couple years.
Nothing
But
wrong with
yeah,
that.
yeah. So, yeah, I just had my 7th baby 8 months ago, and we're just living
Well,
life. I'm so excited for that you asked me to be on here. Thank you so
you're
much.
welcome. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I feel like you have so many. I could ask you 500 questions, even just about your dairy farm, but I'll just focus on homeschool today because I hope to do it one day, and I know a lot of my friends like either are homeschooling already or are aspiring to homeschool. So, my first question for you is, how do you homeschool when you have different ages of children or different levels?
That is a really good question. Um, so we do classical conversations. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but it's there's a lot of different curriculums out there, and that was one thing that confused me in the beginning. So I always tell people to find somebody that you have like a personality that you can connect with, and start there, because keeping it simple is the best. But with the classical conversations, they teach the same thing always, but just at different levels. So that has been huge for us. So my 6-year-old is learning the same as my 12-year-olds, but just at different levels. My 12-year-olds are writing, papers on them, whereas my 6-year-old singing songs. So
Cool.
that's been
Keep
super
it
helpful.
simple. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the main things that we do. And we also, outsourcing is huge. That's one of my main things is, while I have the triplets here, my daughter's doing math. I try to have some stuff that we do one-on-one, and some stuff that we can do as a group. So yeah, it really is finding just what works with your family, and every year changes with their ages. And that's just with children in general. I feel like once they get on a good schedule, I remember my kids, they went from 2 naps to 1 nap, and I thought my world was going to end. I'm like,
Oh,
what am I going to do with this? But
I'm
anyways,
starting to deal with that now,
yeah,
so I can't wait.
yes. So pivoting, realizing this isn't working, and then finding a new, solution.
That's awesome. Um, yeah, no, I really like keeping it simple, and like you said, how you do like different things like for each kid, but kind of still keeping it better that it's like the same subjects for the different ages. That makes sense. I like it.
Right.
Um, so kind of along the same lines though, what has been like the most challenging thing that you've run into homeschooling, and how have you overcome that?
So that's it's funny because it's that has been the most challenging thing, probably doing different ages. My biggest thing is not to compare, because that is the beauty of homeschooling, is that you get to conform to your family's needs and to, your lifestyle. And the different kids' ages, and not to compare your kids. Like it was so hard for me to not compare my fourth to the triplets. And then each child has been so different. Just when you think, you got this thing handled, just like parenting, you're like, nope, they don't struggle with math. This child is amazing in math. They struggle with writing a paper, or spelling, or, reading. And that reading was a huge, I thought that my kids were just going to all get it. And I think some kids do, but mine did not. So that was the biggest struggle for me. And I feel like I'm not a patient person. I'm like, wait, you don't get, this is you say the. So, and that was another, so one of the biggest things for me was I had mentioned outsourcing. My kids right now are with a tutor, and she does their whole like language arts on Zoom. So that is a huge burden, not burden, but a huge weight lifted off my shoulders while I can focus with my other kids. They're doing their language arts, which is spelling, writing, or not writing, spelling, and reading. And so that has been huge. I also have a babysitter that comes 3 times a week. And she did just for 2 to 3 hours. And this has changed throughout the years, but she just comes and helps to be like another person, another helper. She can read with one of the kids, or help them if they need math with their math, or, so that has been a huge help. And just, I got a house cleaner at a certain point. I'm like, okay, I don't think my brain can function if my house isn't clean. Yeah. So yeah, just different things like that, realizing that I don't have to do it all. And there's probably going to come a point where I'm not going to be able to do my kids' math. Right now they're doing a curriculum that grades it for them and teaches them. Totally, I love the program. I don't know if we'll always do it, but what works best for your kids, and then going forward. So yeah, that has been the best thing for us, is just not to compare, keeping it simple. And yeah, it's been so fun.
Yeah, I like how you're sharing, like, I feel like it takes like guts to share, like, hey, I outsourced some of this, like, right. I got help with the tutor, because like so many of us moms feel like we have to do it all, and it's wrong to like ask for help, but right. It's like, you're obviously really smart with your time, so hey, I can focus on the other kids while this woman helps here. So I think that's really helpful to share, just because if someone's starting their homeschool journey or farther along and they're feeling overwhelmed, like, it's okay to like look for a co-op or a tutor or that kind of thing. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course. Yeah. My kids, it's fun for them to be able to learn from somebody else too. I think it's helped to have, little bits here and there with other adults. So that's been fun.
Yeah. Like a different perspective.
Yes.
Too. Yeah.
Yes. I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many times they're like, oh, Miss Sarah told us this. I'm like, wait, I told you that 15 times, but you never listened to me. So sometimes it's just hearing it from somebody else,
I did see one question down below, and then maybe I'll just ask you if you have any final thoughts. Lupe said, what would you recommend for kids between 7 and 10 who are having trouble with reading?
Oh, okay. 7 to 10. Somebody told me if it hasn't clicked by 8, then that's when you maybe should be a little bit more concerned. I don't know if that's true or not. I've had the triplets were 8, and I'm like, nothing is clicking. We've got to do something. So they do it's called Barton Reading Program. It's really similar to, like, I would say, All About Reading. It's a great program. This is why I got a tutor, you guys, because I cannot deal with it's like say bah, and I was just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then
wrong suit. Yeah.
My 6-year-old and my 8-year-old came along, and they just picked it up, and we just read together. And I know reading together, reading to your children, audiobooks, those are all great resources. There's so many great resources out there. And so I would say with the triplets, I should have looked earlier, but I didn't know. I was waiting for it to be, to click. So, but they've caught up, and it's completely fine. They know how to read, and it's all good. But yeah, for 7 to 10, I would say just have grace, keep reading with them. And sorry, I'm reading the chats. Yeah, those are all great, what you guys are recommending.
Yeah. And one of us can also write down that in the comments later. I think you said Barton too. And
Barton program. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess second to last thing, are there any other like takeaways from homeschooling? I know you've already shared a lot of good stuff, but just like one of your biggest tips maybe?
My biggest tip is I've been doing this for, I don't know, 7 years, and I still feel like I'm learning.
Yeah.
So I would say have grace with yourself, and just at the end of every year, I always cry because I'm like, oh my gosh, you still worry. You worry every year. Are they going to do this? Especially with your first. I feel like the more that I have, the easier. I'm like, oh, she's got this. We're doing this good, you know. I do believe children learn just in life in general, and have grace with yourself. Keep it simple. Do not compare yourself to other people. Those have been my biggest lessons. And for me personally, I love being a part of a community where I can have other moms to throw things back, like, hey, this is normal what you're doing. Or in person, just having somebody else or another mom or another community that you can throw ideas back and forth. And like I said, finding somebody that's your style of learning is huge too, because usually there's only, like, when it comes down to it, there's usually only top three math programs, top three reading programs. And so that's where, like, all those huge homeschooling events, those like that they have, you know, worldwide. I was like, I am not going to those because my brain will explode.
Yeah.
And I cannot take that all in. So I realized doing my research and talking to like my mom friends at homeschool that it really does come down to just a handful of math curriculums that are the favorite, or the reading or language arts. And sometimes I've done them for a year and I switch. And sometimes I've done them for 3 years and I switch. So I really do think that the best thing is just to start, and then you will see, you know, what works best for you. And if it's not working, then, you know, every once in a while we reevaluate and pivot and try something new.
Yeah. No, thank you. I think pivot is a big takeaway of it. It's okay to change it up if you need to. Yeah, definitely.
And one more thing, taking it year by year. This is like, I tell my kids, like, we're going to try this for a year. And then if it doesn't work, we'll try something else next year. So, or even next week or next month, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, I'm not there yet, but I'll be taking these tips into because we plan to homeschool. So thank you so much.
Amazing.
For, like, all of these awesome nuggets and programs that you like. If other moms or families that are thinking about homeschool, like, have questions or want to reach out, like, where can they find you or contact you?
Oh, message me. You guys I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm an open book, you guys, and I love to share and help other people. So any questions you have, I'm here. Let me know.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Sheryl.
Thank you so much for having me, Brigida.
Bye.
We'll see you guys.